What's up, everybody? Let's get everything started. Oh, yeah, I guess I'm live.
Shall now vote for approval of H.R. 8791, the Homeland Terrorism Preparedness Bill. Said bill requests emergency response funding up to and including, this section is classified, dollars to prepare for a national level terrorist attack and or attack from classified. Funding for first responder personnel and vehicles would be doubled if said attack leads to more than 80% of national population being affected by classified. This funding shall commence in conjunction with the first attack on classified or the first large-scale outbreak of classified, dependent upon which comes first. Civilian and military units shall be trained in containment and combat of classified, including irradiated classified with possibility of classified airborne, classified flesh-eating, classified and or all of the above in such event as classified spewing, classified escape are released or otherwise become uncontrollable. Air Force units may also be directed to combat said classified due to their enormous size and otherworldly strength. Should event occur in urban areas, that's classified, far surpassing our darkest nightmares. Should casualties exceed classified body disposal actions, shall be halted and associated resources shall be reallocated to classified underground, classified protected birthing centers. New Bill of Rights shall be drafted and approved by classified. Having now reviewed the bill, I ask you to please cast your votes.
What's up, guys? It's Super Mike 2164. And we're just gonna have a quick talk. I don't know if it's gonna be that quick, but I'm gonna try to get through a lot of few things. I just wanted to say what's up, and trying to do our streaming. I want to send love, peace, and blessings out to everybody out there. And right now, we want to go into a little bit of some information about the Nation of Islam, more specifically, the leadership of the Minister Louis Farrakhan. Now, since the age of 9, my family's been in the Nation of Islam, so that's about, like 30 something years now. And so I'm speaking from a place of factual knowledge. I know for a fact, and not only myself, but the neighborhoods, the communities, I see the effect in the world, on the globe. I know for a fact that Minister Farrakhan has done an excellent job, and uh, people who criticize him do so from a place from ignorance. They speak from ignorance. They speak from a place of lack of knowledge, and a lot of these folks think just because they don't know, then it ain't happening. Then stuff ain't, and then they fail to see their personal responsibility in the effort. And as once you now, according to the teachings of Nation of Islam, all black people, all righteous people are members of the Nation of Islam. The the ADOS or FBA, Foundational Black Americans, we descend from a lost and now found member of the Nation of Islam. So we have a specific and a special place here. The Nation of Islam is not only for black people as defined in America, but it starts with black people in America. This here starts with us, but it does not stop with us. And this is going to be the part that people are going to, because the people who reject this chance at developing their community, developing themselves, and becoming a free and independent nation, the people who choose to reject that, they're going to be pretty salty because, it ain't going to stay with you. And you're going to be looking kind of crazy doing whatever you're doing. Okay, eventually, I'm sure your lineage will come into the fold, but it will take you some time and you'll have to suffer even longer if your lineage survives. So this is how this thing pretty much is going. And we know this based upon the track record. And remember, I had that picture up that the messenger taught us that, we've been trained in to a wicked civilization. Now we must be trained into a righteous one. This is a certain training that we have to have. It doesn't just come up automatically. This means, and people have to accept the training. It's a process. This is a process. So, I just want us to understand, like, this is what is going on. This is what's going on. Our people have to be trained. So recently, our brother Prince Dynast Amir, he's had a series of programs. And I just wanted to also touch base on this here. This senator, whatever this guy's name is. This was John Collier. John Collier. That Senate hearing was real. This man is telling you, but he is classified information, but he's telling you they're setting up these laws and these rules, and they're organizing society in a way to do some massive exterminations here. So, but that's the best that he can say because it's classified, right? But the point is that I'm making here is that black people, you got to know your direct history. Otherwise, you will be tricked and confused out of your. It's basically you're going to be tricked and confused out of your birthright. A lot of us think that someone else is better than us just because we had a hard time and we know all the goods and flaws within what we're doing. But that's not the case. So anyway, and this is, like I said, this topic is really for black folks. I mean, everybody can look because it is on YouTube, but this is what's up. Black people, we got some choices to make. And let's deal with this here. So Prince Dynast Amir, he had this.
Karina of Namibia was also at.
So brother Prince Dynast Amir and Kyla Jennings had a show a couple of days ago, and I called in there. They had a couple questions. Well, they had to talk, and these brothers are doing some great work. They educate people. They schedule trips back to Africa. These are Pan Africanist brothers. These brothers, they believe in the ideas of repatriating back to Africa. Now, the thing is, which is good work, because remember, our people are going to spread. We're going to spread and we're going to grow. But at the same time, sometimes we got that old religious mindset, and we think we're not religious, but we are religious mindset, because the way that we were trained under white supremacy is that my way and no way else. And that's not how it's going to work here. White supremacy is going out of style. It's not going to be around. So we can't be following the mistakes of the enemy. I mean, we get to analyze and we get to repeat verified functional pieces of maybe some of the things that they've done that we can use. But it's not going to be, sorry, I'm just adding stuff. Yeah, it's not going to be exactly what they're doing. And what I mean by that is, Pan-Africanism can work at the same time as do for self at home can work. These two are simultaneous objectives to develop power in our people. This is what we got to do, both of them, because we're going to have international trade and commerce, and we're going to have, a strong indigenous population who is developing and growing. You got to have both in order for either one to succeed properly. The message of Kwame Nkrumah or in Ghana, that, the United States of Africa, that idea, all those things, it works in tandem with developing the people in the U.S., because the United States is the number one blocker. The United States and Britain is the number one blocker and antagonist and the number one country that dismantles and destroys all black power operations. That's who does it. It's the United States. So black people in the United States, you're not going to be able to get around growing your power here. Once you, just like they say in New York, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. You're going to have to prove your power right in the belly of the beast. And that's what Minister Farrakhan is doing. So let's look at this here. We're going to deal with a couple criticisms, mainly on this one. I'm going to deal with the criticism that the brother has on the $1 billion with Gaddafi, but let's look at some of it.
The conference, the leader of Indonesia there inspired him to coin a new name, telling him, brother, that is not a name, that's a...
I'm not going to use the whole thing because copyright stuff. So what I want to do is, hold on a second here. Bear with me, guys. I just want to set this up so that way we won't. I don't want to disrespect the brother's show, so I'm just going to play hold on a second. Press the thumbs up, share the stream, subscribe to the channel. You guys can subscribe as soon as you're ready. Actually, go ahead and subscribe now before you're ready. Hold on a second here. This is Super Mike, your brother. And this is what I want to do. Here it is. All right. So I'm going to take this one off of the stream. And we're just going to play the audio of that.
Guys, hit that like button again. Please hit the like button again. Please hit the like.
I think it's right here. Yeah.
That question, brother. Hold on one second. Let me let's get RG's question. Murumba Karina of Namibia was also at the conference. The leader of Indonesia there inspired him to coin a new name, telling him, brother, that is not a name, that's a direction. What other African nations need name changes? Colin.
Okay. Well, people always talk about Liberia. Well, what about Guinea? You know what I'm saying? What Guinea means? Guinea means black. That's French, you know? Some people like it, Guinea, okay? Yeah, Guinea-Bissau, that's Portuguese Africa, you know? The Gambia was named by the British, the British Gambia Protectorate, you know? All these countries, like the Ivory Coast, you know? What does that mean? Cote d'Ivoire, you know? All these black Frenchmen, you know? You ever see these dudes from the Ivory Coast? You know? They talk more French than the white man does, you know? They're just black Frenchmen. But I'm not going to think like that because they had a conspiracy. Cameroon is not an African name. That was a German name. You know, people don't realize that. Equatorial Guinea. That means the black in the side, the Spanish for the black equator, Equatorial Guinea. You know, so we have all these countries in Africa that are controversial as far as like name and stuff like that. Yes, Namibia was really that. But the thing is, it's not enough.
I would say Burkina Faso is the only one land of upright men. You know, Thomas
Sankara called the Upper Volta. We call the Upper Volta.
Right.
And which we call it, and also Namibia is not enough. I'm not to take. I love Namibia. I want to go there one day. Seriously, that's one of the countries in Africa I'm just really fond of. But the Namibian government, right, is too weak to take over the land that all the Europeans have over there. You know, and so basically that's what I'm saying. The same thing. We it's fear. The black race is ruled by fear. You know. South Africa is terrified to take over those, nationalize those mines in Johannesburg.
So I want to stop it right there. You see, this is what I mean by we speak. You know, some of that is true, ruled by fear, but some of it, this man here is speaking from ignorance, because would he act differently if he was in that spot? Because those people were trained in a wicked system. Okay, so I just wanted to point that part out. But he's telling mostly the truth that I can agree with.
Johannesburg, goldfields and stuff like that, Pretoria, stuff like that. They're terrified, you know, they can't do it. It's terrifying. You know, they said, look what happened in Zimbabwe. In Nigeria, why is the Queen of England, you know, British Petroleum, Royal Dutch Shell, why they reckon the Delta region, right, taking all the oil out and giving Nigeria a parcel of its own oil? How come Nigeria has?
So he goes into some points that, you know, talking about Africa being ruled by fear and that kind of thing, which is good.
I used to listen to the Minister Farrakhan's words.
So then I asked them this question. Let's look at this here.
Really, you like what? Now they were in there talking about what about the black community? What about a lot of people who have the LGBTQ lifestyle feel alienated from the church, as they should be? What's the Bible say? It said, I don't know. So anyway, these white people in the church, and the one preacher says, "Well, sin is sin." Well, then they went to the other church. Well, we're trying to and then they said, well, the LGBT and all of them have always helped the thing. So somebody said, if you don't support Farrakhan,
so that's my
Farrakhan
question right there. So what I'm asking this brother, I'm saying he was talking about. Let me go back because I really wanted to get the part that I made the question for.
We have to have those sort of codes. If black man never really take heed to is man versus himself. Mm-hmm. You know what man versus himself means? That means every person has a higher self and a lower self. My lower self, right, especially when I was in my club years and everything like that, I did a lot of things I knew it wasn't supposed to be right. And your lower self, you think about things, I'll do it like that, but then you come to your senses. Right. I got to rise, my better angels. I got to rise above that. Black people, when we see people doing wrong, we have this ability to basically like, no. And we sit there and co-sign people doing wrong. You know that's wrong. You know that's out of line. That's because we don't know who we are. If you don't know who you are, right, in this thing, it's like a perfect example. I remember a couple of years ago, there was these kids in Florida, right, that carjacked somebody, right? The same person who don't know right from wrong will steal from you. The same Farrakhan has a.
Okay, I'm trying to get to exactly where this brother.
They were in there talking about what about the black community? What about a lot of.
So basically, the brother was talking about how we like to criticize.
I was the only one land of upright men. Thomas Sankara
called the Upper Volta. This is what we call the Upper Volta.
Right.
And which we call it, and also Namibia is not enough. I love Namibia. I want to go there one day. Seriously. That's one of the countries in Africa I'm just really fond of. But the Namibian government, right, is too weak to take over the land that all the Europeans have over there, And so basically that's what I'm saying. The same thing we is fear. The black race is ruled by fear.
You see?
South Africa is terrified.
Let's keep going through it.
Terrified to take over nationalize those mines in Johannesburg, Goldfields and stuff like that, Pretoria, stuff like that. They're terrified, they can't do it. It's terrified. They say, look what happened in Zimbabwe. In Nigeria, why is the Queen of England, British Petroleum, Royal Dutch Shell, why they reckon the Delta region, right, taking all the oil out and giving Nigeria a parcel of its own oil? How come Nigeria hasn't done like Venezuela did, and take over its oil industry? Fear. The black race, it seemed like, I always thought, too black, too strong. It seemed like the black man is the weakest out of all the races in the world. Other people like, Asians are weak. Get out of here. Asians are strong. They did all the stuff. They don't apologize. It's because what happens is the white man has it so that when we come among each other, they make it so that we question each other. We don't question. We don't.
So this is the part I want to really focus on. And I'll just show that question right quick.
Is the weakest out of all the races in the world. Other people.
See, let's show this part.
People are like, Asians are weak. Get out of here. Asians are strong. They did all the stuff. They don't apologize. It's because what happens is the white man has it so that when we come among each other.
When we come among each other, we question. Let's listen.
In the world, other people are like, Asians are weak. Get out of here. Asians are strong. They did all the stuff. They don't apologize. It's because what happens is the white man has it so that when we come among each other, they make it so that we question each other. We don't question. We don't believe in each other enough to be like, okay, this guy is a good leader, like Paul Kagame. The whole entire black race should be behind that brother. But what do you see? Dynast, right? Oh man, we're gonna fuck. I had one guy that that follows me on Facebook. You know who I'm talking about, right? Congolese guy, right? He basically laid out the bag that he's gonna fuck Paul Kagame up one day. Now he's sitting over in America, Canada, whatever like that, talking about Paul Kagame. Completely forgot about the Belgium and the Canadians. Everybody's raping the Congo. But the fact that Paul Kagame is basically taking minerals out of Congo, right, like everybody else is, and monetizing them and building his country is unforgivable. But you forgave the white man. You don't care about the white man. But when it comes to the black man, you want to basically go to war.
All right, so that's the part that
Paul Kagame is basically taking minerals out of Congo, right, like everybody else is, and monetizing them and building his country is unforgivable. But you forgave the white man. You don't care about the white man. But when it comes to the black man, you want to basically go to war. That's what we're talking about, And the bottom line, the only thing I think that's going to stop all this toxic Negro stuff is there's got to be.
Okay, so the point is, this brother, he that is the claim that I wanted to really harp on. That's what he said. And so later on, I asked a question here. I want to see if I can get to it. There it is right there. So I don't know if I can get and stay on it. There it is. Damn. Anyway, if you don't support Farrakhan, then are you hypocritical? So let's listen to the response off of that part.
Different points. There's things that Farrakhan say I ride with. There's things that Farrakhan say I disagree with. Can we ever do that? Can we ever compartmentalize? People say Farrakhan. I don't agree with everything Mr. Farrakhan says. There's things that he said that he's 100% right. Because I'll be honest with you, right? If it wasn't for Minister Farrakhan, to tell you the truth, I wouldn't be here right now. Because he was the one back in the days when I was a young man, I was basically getting ready to go off into the streets and everything. I used to listen to the Minister Farrakhan's words. I used to read The Final Call. And that man delivered me, right? He told me, "Yo, look, brother, I understand the temptation." Like he was speaking directly to me. But you got so much potential to reach a lot of people. Don't throw your life away. That's what I had growing up. I read Malcolm X. I read the teaching of Minister Farrakhan, Minister Farrakhan and whatnot, That don't mean I agree with everything he says. I'm not going to walk in lockstep. But the bottom line is I take what I can. Right now, our generation don't have people like that.
All right, stop right there. See, to make a statement, first he said he listened to Minister Farrakhan, but then he says our generation don't have nobody like that. This is the problem with us. Some of us think just because we don't see something, just because we don't see it, it ain't happening. These young brothers got people from the Nation of Islam that they're looking at. They got the teachings, the same teachings that you got. They getting those teachings in a way that they can process that way. Just because you don't see it don't mean it ain't happening. And just because you didn't fully accept it like it should be, doesn't mean it. Some people are not using it to make it work. The self-development, the teachings is what's going to develop the people, and the people will make the changes. It's not on Farrakhan to make the actual changes. He don't have to actually do the thing for you. You see? And this is what I wanted to touch base on. But let's go forward because it's another piece of this here that I want to get at. And remember, this is copyright, 1976. We're not trying to really, And so I called in, and I just wanted to touch base with my brother. So we'll see. we want to start off with problems. We want to talk about what's the problem. We want to focus on the problem. And you got to put the problems out there. So I'm not saying that the problem should not be there, but you got to talk about where you can work with each other at, where you can work together at. You got to do that. Otherwise, you're just talking about problems and you're creating this imaginary sense that people can't work together. So that right there, I think he started off real wrong, and you'll see he started to flip.
I'm 47.
47. So
47.
Okay, you're up to my age. Okay. But the thing is, though, let me ask you a question. You seem new to this, right? Are you new to the movement back in the
from ignorance.
I was back there hard in the Nation of Islam, Khalid, back in the 90s. I was hard in this, right?
I know all about it.
And so my whole thing is okay, when the Nation of Islam, right? I mean, Charles Taylor came to sent representatives to the Million Man March, right? Mm-hmm. He said, "Oh, look, you guys got territory over here. We can give you everything, right?" Nothing came out of it, right? Nothing came out of it, right? And then Farrakhan says that Gaddafi offered him $1 billion, right?
Yeah.
But then I don't know what happened, right? And I'm not trying to embarrass Mr. Farrakhan.
Allegedly, Bill Clinton shut it down.
Allegedly. No. This is what happened, right? Bill Clinton gave him a way out, right? Because they was like, okay, we want a wire transfer. And then people said, you don't need a wire transfer. You can put the money in a Swiss account, right? Leave it there, right? So Farrakhan ignored that, right? He could have put it in a third party bank. You got access to the money.
Now,
Farrakhan went to Bill Clinton and said,
"Hey, Bill, can I get this $1 billion from Gaddafi?"
So now we see here. Look, let's look at that. This brother, they said they didn't know what happened, but then they start saying this is what happened, as if they know. And they start laughing. Can we, hey, Bill, can I get the $1 billion? And they start laughing. Let's look at that part.
Point you. I'm not even trying to do, maybe, I can do my.
Well, yeah, he's bitter, right? He could have put it in a third
for us to study. Like I said, you might not agree with the 200. Okay. Now that's.
All right. So I just wanted to get to this part. So the point is they're laughing because they're thinking that they know what happened. But obviously they didn't look into it.
Bro, I'm not trying to, we're not trying to clown. We're not trying to clown, right?
Oh, no,
everybody's like,
I understand.
But bro, everybody was like, man, like if somebody had a.
I'm gonna look at that part. Hold on.
If I was really going to get $1 billion, do you think I would give a goddamn what the United States say? I say, so the whole thing is, he went there. I said, Bill Clinton said, no, you can't do it. See, Clinton said, no, yeah, that was his way out. Because I don't think Gaddafi actually said that,
What?
No, he did. Oh, no. He said.
Bro, let me say something, man.
He said he don't think this shows the ignorance, though. But we laughing at.
We love Minister Farrakhan,
Farrakhan.
But the bottom line is, you have to start take Black
the
America.
Man telling you at the same time, but he don't know.
If you can't deliver something, you don't say it. No, look, man, I can't do it. I never overpromise. If you can't, if he was really serious about giving Minister Farrakhan $1 billion right here, don't do a hoax. Don't play with people. Just say, yo, look, we can't get it, whatever, like that, and everything, because if you really wanted $1 billion, there's a million ways Gaddafi could have did.
Really?
And then also when the U.S.
All right, so the brother talking about if you want $1 billion, there's a million ways that it could have been done, but he don't know. And see, this is what I'm talking about. I mean, it takes a long time to come up with all these receipts, but I don't want to make these things real long. But the bottom line is people think they know stuff and they don't know. So let me remove that. So I just wanted to get into that. It took all that time to get into that. That's a shame.
And looks at the little boy and said, who he think he is coming out after me?
Let's look at this part.
What is meant when the Muslims say Savior's Day and everywhere you...
After the Million Man March, hold on. Let's do it this way. So after the Million Man March in 1995, Minister Farrakhan, people was talking about, oh, y'all didn't do nothing because y'all didn't get legislation. Minister Farrakhan went on a world friendship tour. He toured the African countries. He toured Middle Eastern countries. He went to Russia, and he made a friendship tour. He told the world about our plight in America. They don't know that we did 400 years in slavery and chattel slavery. These people don't know our story like that because you don't know their story. So after that, Minister Farrakhan went out. He did a friendship tour talking about Black America, showing that we were decent people. We were people struggling, trying to develop ourselves, and just letting them know that who we were, and that we were brothers. And during that friendship tour, he got well received in Africa. And a year after that, a few months after that, actually in 1996, Gaddafi offered to put the wealth of Libya behind the Nation of Islam. But he just said $1 billion. He said $1 billion. And let's look at this here. I think it's right here.
I'll never lead my people in a way to justify the slaughter of them.
Hold on.
Well, you must be all three of them. I love him. And he called me. He's a revolutionary. And I told him I am too. I said, but I don't believe in the gun. I said, I don't believe in that. I'm like David. My brother Saul got sword. I'm ready to fight Goliath, but I don't need my brother's sword. I picked up 5 smooth stones in a brook.
See, a lot of y'all don't know how to translate these scriptures into real life. The principle.
The giant looks at the little boy and said, who he think he is coming out after me? I'm just the servant of the Lord. But I got a smooth stone, only one. I don't need more than one to do the job. I told Brother Gaddafi, I don't need weapons. And I'll never lead my people in a way to justify the slaughter of them. We don't need weapons to defeat this enemy. That's what he's waiting on. That's why he armed you in the ghetto with that little pop gun stuff you got to give you a sense of power. You don't know what weapons are. That man got some weapons. You running around with your little 45 and street sweeper and shotgun and feel good. When you see that tank rolling on your behind and them helicopter gunships come down the street, you'll think twice about attacking white folk with weapons. That's not going to defeat him. So I told Brother Gaddafi, I don't need.
Hold on. Let's keep going. I thought I was going to.
I said, I will produce a revolution with the help of God and this book.
So right there, this is way before the Million Man March. Gaddafi, like most of y'all, basically would laugh at Minister Farrakhan. He said he don't need guns. He's going to produce a revolution with the help of God and with that book. Now, this right here is why most of y'all don't understand the power of these things that y'all want to run away from, called religions. When somebody knows how to use a religion, when somebody knows how to use, see, the thing is, the problem with y'all, the reason why y'all want to run away from a religion is because you never knew how to use it. It was always used against you. It was always used against you. You never knew, you never had somebody who knew how to use it. And now you got somebody who know how to use a religion. And so he don't need a weapon, guns. He's going to use that, and he's going to produce the revolution with that. That right there, that book. And you guys will laugh, but you don't know what you're laughing at. And guess what? The United States is not laughing. See that crowd there?
You gonna produce, Farrakhan?
See that crowd there? That's a very small crowd, but it was produced not with weapons.
See, it's a quiet revolution. See, Farrakhan will overthrow the government of your mind.
And see, when Minister Farrakhan tries to tell y'all how this thing is going to work, just because y'all don't know what's going on, y'all laugh. And this is the problem that black folks, this is the problem with dealing with black folks, is because we don't know nothing. I mean, we really don't know much of nothing. And so we laugh at things we don't understand. And then, but the thing is, that's the reason why we're trained, and the minister teaches us, we got to be patient. We got to get laughed at. We got to deal with it, but we're going to come back and teach with the truth. So this is what I'm doing here. So keep on.
See, that's what Jesus was all about. Jesus was all about changing the way you think. So when this government is overthrown and the kingdom, the king is settled in the dome, and the laws of God are settled in your head, and you meditate on them night and day, then when the change comes in your head, then you change everything around you. And when he saw the Million Man March, he saw my words come to reality. And he called me on the phone. He said, brother, the wealth of Libya I will put behind the Nation of Islam. That's what he said.
So this right there, this is how this thing is flowing out.
That's what he said. That's more than $1 billion. And I'm going to accept it. It ain't a business transaction, it's a grant to help me with the work of the resurrection of the black man and woman of America. Not to buy guns, but to build homes, build factories, build schools, set up international trade. You said, Farrakhan, you're going to have to register as an agent of a foreign power. You're right. You're right. I'm registered now as an agent of a foreign power. But the foreign power that I'm an agent of is Master Farad Muhammad. Now, I want you to bring me before Congress and ask me to register as a foreign agent. Then I'm going to call the roll of how many senators are honorary members of the Israeli Knesset. Yeah, I want to walk a little bit now. Feeling pretty good right along about now. Moses and Aaron about to cast their rod. Demons and liars and hypocrites and devils. When you bring me before Congress, I'm going to call the roll on all the congressmen who are honorary members of the Israeli Knesset and get contributions from the Zionist AIPAC. And then I want you to register as an agent of a foreign power. Every year you give Israel $4 to $6 billion of the taxpayers' money, and you haven't asked the taxpayers one damn thing. Who are you an agent of? Bring me before Congress. Let's have the showdown at the OK Corral at high noon.
All right, I think that's enough right there. So the minister told him that bring him for Congress. And this is pretty much how this went down. Now let's look at the next step. All right, so during that time, let's look at it. Hold on. Hold on, guys. It's just a little something in the background. But I want y'all to see this part. Hold on. So they went to block the minister. They went to block it. And I'm all over the place with this, but here it is. So officials to block gift to Gaddafi, Gaddafi gift to Farrakhan. And with this situation, but actually there's a different one I want to read first, because it shows when he actually went, when we went down to the Congress, because they had the meeting with Peter King in like March 19th, 1996. And keep in mind, actually, you know what, before that, Let's do it this way. 10 years prior to that, Ronald Reagan, I'll do it this way. Yeah, 10 years prior to that, Ronald Reagan had signed, because Ronald Reagan had bombed Libya. Ronald Reagan bombed Libya. And at that time, he signed this executive order number 12,544. Now, Libyan Arab Foreign Bank, Bankers Trust. So the LAFB opened a 7-day notice account with the London branch of Bankers Trust Company in April 1973. Although a notice account, the investors used the London account primarily as a current account with interest paid on the balance. In November 1977's Bankers Trust Company, dissatisfied with the operational difficulties and profit-generating capabilities of the LAFB's account, proposed the establishment of a managed account system consisting of a current account with the New York office and a call account with the London office. The LAFB, however, rejected the managed account proposal. Bankers Trust Company revived the managed account system proposal in 1980 and reached an agreement with LAFB on December 11th in 1980. The managed account agreement established a demand account in London. The agreement mandated that all Libyan Arab foreign bank transactions pass through the New York account at the beginning of each banking day. The agreement required the New York office of Bankers Trust Company to determine the closing balance of New York account for the previous day. So if the closing balance exceeded the target balance, the agreement obligated the New York branch of the bank to transfer the excess amount to the London account. Conversely, if the New York account balance fell under the amount, then they would get money from the London account and bring it to the New York account. So the London account actually functioned as an interest-bearing reservoir, for the New York account. It only held the interest. During the period of the LAFB's managed account system, from December 1980 to December 1985, the relationship between Libya and the United States gradually deteriorated. On December 27, 1985, terrorist attacks at the Rome and Vienna airports exacerbated already strained relations between Libya and the United States. On the afternoon of January 7, 1986, Mr. Corrigan, the president of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, contacted Mr. Britton and the chairman of the Bankers Trust Company to ascertain whether the Libyans removed funds from the bank account in the United States. Mr. Britton, after reviewing the account records, informed officials at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, that the Libyans had withdrawn funds from the United States, but Mr. Corrigan requested that Mr. Britton temporarily halt all payments out of the Libyan accounts. So the Federal Reserve Bank told them to stop giving money to Libya. Following further discussion with Mr. Corrigan, Britton contacted the Treasury Secretary James A. Baker III to discuss the Libyan account. Treasury Secretary Baker told Mr. Britton that President Reagan had recently signed Executive Order 12,544, rendering it illegal for bankers, trust company, or any other American bank to make any payments out of Libyan accounts, period. The LAFB on April 28, 1986 sent 2 telexes to Bankers Trust Company. Basically, they was like, trying to sue them, like, listen, give us our money. So they tried to hit the London account up. Since the New York account would not give them any money because of Ronald Reagan, they tried to hit the London account up. And the company refused, Bankers Trust refused to honor either demand, arguing that because of this executive order that the President of the United States of America signed against transferring any money to Libyan accounts. This is 10 years prior to the 11 years prior, about 9 years prior to the Million Man March. But this is all happening around 10 years prior to what's going on. Once again, Bankers Trust Company refused the demand because of it would violate the United States law. Following this refusal, the LAFB initiated suit against Bankers Trust Company in the United Kingdom. The conflict of laws threshold. So this is one argument that they were using to try to get this money. This is the Libyan government. Now, these people up here, Dynast and Kala, laughing, talking about Farrakhan. Oh, it's a way you can get the money. It's a way. It's a way. Okay. So the Libyan government is trying to get their money, their own money, out of this account. This is 10 years prior to that, from a presidential executive order halting all money and transactions to Libyan accounts. So they tried to get it from the London office in Libyan Arab Foreign Bank so they made a lawsuit in London. So in Libyan Arab Foreign Bank versus Bankers Trust Company, the court began its examination of the case with a review of the rules governing the conflict of laws. Under English law, Bankers Trust Company is excused from its contractual obligations to honor the LAFB's demands for repayment of the dollar-denominated London account if repayment is illegal under the proper substantive law governing the managed account systems. Basically, England honored American law. The euro-dollar defense, they tried to change it to euro dollars and get it that way. In addition to the conflict of laws issue, the English court also evaluated the euro-dollar defense Bankers Trust Company presented. The crux of the euro-dollar defense is that the repayment of the LAFB's euro-dollar account in London cannot occur without the use of the payment processing systems in the United States. This method, however, is illegal under United States law because of the asset freeze. Okay? So bottom line is Libya couldn't get the money. The lawyers and attorneys in the Nation of Islam could not legally get the money. Keep in mind, you got to get the money legally so you can perform the operations that you intend on performing with the money. You can't get the money and then
that kind of brings me to
use the money. People think they're laughing, talking about they could have got this money, this $1 billion, but you're living within a system of white supremacy. And you have to obey the laws in the land as long as they do not conflict with your religion. Okay. because we have to have the primary objective is not money. The primary objective is to teach the people and to develop the people. So we're about to almost be done with this. So I just wanted to touch base with that. We got a couple other issues that goes on. I mean, this is, I'm just documenting this stuff because it's a lot. But let's try this here. Let's do this here. We're gonna stop sharing, and we'll do this. We'll do the screen share. I think we can do it here. Hold on. Press the thumbs up, guys. I think it's right there. That's what I want. So this is Brandon. And so they did another day. Well, actually they did. This is the next day. Brother Malcolm Flex called in. And he, the brothers was talking about this particular brother, Pan Africanism Strikes Back. He had actually wrote a comment talking about Minister Farrakhan is a con man. Okay. So those type of statements, and then they created this show, Is It Time to Cancel the Nation of Islam and Other Religious Orgs? Okay. These type of statements are inflammatory. You got to realize when you're dealing with your own people, you don't go to war with your own people like you go to war with the enemy. And actually, just like Kyla said, we go to war with our own people harder than we go to war with the enemy. It's not smart. So I want to let's listen to, I just want to really listen to what the brother is saying. Sorry. All right.
For doing some security. So we take on new people,
So this particular brother
on the anti-Asian hate movement. Why is he talking about the vaccine when we have a couple 100,000 immigrants who are about to be influxed into our neighborhoods and compete with us for resources that are already dwindling? You got no plan of action, no direction, just a bunch of talk and no plan. What does that have to do with anything? Like, why, you guys? And why? And this is the bigger question. Why do you feel like that's the best, that's what you deserve? Why do you feel like that's the best leadership that you deserve? Zero plan of action, zero direction, zero rhetoric that even addresses the real problems that you are facing. We got a lot of Black people talking about they want to leave America and go to Africa. When is Farrakhan going to address that?
See, so, we hear these type of rhetorics. I'm not going to even really address all these points because a lot of this stuff is really ignorant, actually. It's actually ignorant. You're dealing with somebody who needs to be taught. He needs to shut up and listen. You're literally dealing with someone who needs to be shut up and listen. You're dealing with somebody that doesn't know enough about enough to even ask these questions in an arrogant way that he's asking them. Farrakhan does not work for him. It's almost like this. These people who think that they know, but they haven't produced, trying to question and direct someone who has produced. It doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense. So, and I just wanted to hit that one up, but I'm going to hit another part up here and then we're going to be gone because I don't really want this to be long. I just wanted to address this. And the main thing on this, I mean, I'm sure we're going to be addressing so many points in this. The next day, they did another one. Now, Brother Malcolm Flex off of this here, Brother Malcolm Flex called in and really settled a lot of stuff. So we should be tuned in to Brother Malcolm Flex. You know, we should be tuned into Brother Malcolm Flex TV. And just so we can get a balance. But even not just Malcolm Flex, but even other brother, this brother here. This brother is not he was registered in the nation, but he's no longer active in the nation. He destroyed these foolish arguments. But this brother here, Pan Africanism Strikes Back, seems to think that just because he speaks loudly, then he's right. Loudspeakers.
Farrakhan said Islam is the lost found nation of Islam. The part that he rebuilt. Brandon, you kind of made a mistake historically in stating that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan did not build the nation. He at least, what will I call, rehabilitated or rebuilt a section of it. He did a lot of work. He didn't break the nation. The nation's bank is not broken. When the nation was no longer there, because Elijah Muhammad's son, Warden Muhammad, tried to take them over to the Arabs and turn them into total Arabs. Farrakhan went over with Elijah Muhammad's son, Warden, but then went back to do what Elijah Muhammad stated should be done. Now, do I think that the nation should have a more African approach? Yes, I do. Do I think that the nation should support the things such as Prince Dynast?
Let me address that part. Should the nation have a more African approach? This is the issue, people. I mean, there's so many levels to this. Y'all don't know what the nation is about. The nation of Islam is all the original people on the planet Earth. Our part is the lost found nation of Islam, because we were the one that were kidnapped and put into slavery and, beaten for over 400 years. Okay. So, but this knowledge is not going to go just to Africa, but it's going to go to Australia. It's going to go to Indonesia. It's going to go to South America. It's going to go, So the point is, our part is just the first portion of it. But this is what people think, and we understand. I understand it. So I want to play this last part, and then we're about to get going. This brother here. Let's look at this. So they had that show. Then they had a show the next day. And the brother started talking a bunch of crazy stuff too. He had our brother Chaos Ring on here, which I know Queen Ma'at was on there talking a bunch of crap. But I mean, these comments usually come from a place of ignorance.
What black people doing in America, but it's getting rough right now. I mean, and the only thing we see moving forward is that, they are just importing more people that's not like us, and taking the small little jobs just to get your feet wet. So now the only thing they will leave you is to do criminal acts if you're not careful. It's like an easy ticket just to go for free labor in the prison systems. That's how I see moving forward. So like I said, and it's funny, Dynast, that thing with Gaddafi giving Farrakhan a couple $1 billion. I hear I've been hearing about that for the last couple of years. And I'm thinking, what excuse you have that America say you can't take that money, so you find a loophole like everybody else? Yeah. And I think that, and let's be honest, brothers, I think they did got that money, to be honest with you. Because no way hell somebody give you money and you can't get it. That don't make no sense. Now, the Nation of Islam could sit there, pose and say that is not true, because most black people today are followers. And the Muslims that were in the nation have disbanded. I only can name a few off my head.
one, I forgot the guy, Son of Islam. He was an older that's been in since the 70s. He's no longer part of that because he doesn't see no growth, no progression. Hell, I got college. In fact, shit, let me show you what I got right here. Since I'm talking to you about this. This book right here. Let me turn this camera on. Right here. Yeah. This book. See it? Mm-hmm. This is written by one guy that was part of Nation Islam. Well, I don't know if he still is. Malik Zulu Shabazz. This came out 20 years ago, since his death back in February. And you mentioned about him, and he went a different direction, and you see what happened to him.
First of all, Malik Zulu Shabazz, a lot of people think is an agent. He went with Khalid when Khalid went away from the nation and separated from Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan. But then he started they created the new Black Panthers. Then when Dr. Khalid died, Malik Zulu Shabazz started trying to come back to the nation, which would have looked crazy. So he just but he was very friendly. He was at the Million Man March, so people don't know the details of these histories. And then they're coming back. Then, Brother Chaos, I'm going to have to talk to you, brother, because you're talking about you think the nation got the money. No. We don't have that money. It's illegal. The United States government is got sanctions on the Nation of Islam. The only money that the Nation of Islam gets is what it generates from the Black community. And that's how all of our organizations should be. We don't understand stuff, and we don't try to understand. We just make these assertions because we want to be right, and it doesn't make any sense, and it doesn't help anybody. You learn, you have access to people, talk to people. You can talk to multiple people. That's how that's done. Instead of all of this just backbiting and silly stuff. But anyway, I think I want to I want to read one more point on this here. Let's look at this here. Sanctions programs. So you got the Office of Foreign Assets Control, Sanctions Programs, and Information. This is for people who think, oh, maybe they got the money and just ain't telling nobody. If you think you're going to get around the OFAC and just do your thing, find a loophole, it's just that easy. Find a loophole like everybody else, really. Okay. You got people, Black folks have to actually follow the law. You got many governors, many mayors who thought that they can just find an illegal loophole like white people do and get what they want. It don't work that way for Black organizations and Black people. So y'all need to get that crazy stuff out of your head. You got a legitimate organization that's here. It's operated, ran by Black, and you guys are being overly critical. Don't make no sense. Office of Foreign Assets Control. Well, let me show this. I'm sorry. Let me do this here. Oh, this screen thing. It's the kind of crap we think we got going on. Let me put a little something on. So the Office of Foreign Assets Control, Sanctions Program, and Information. The Office of Foreign Assets Control of the U.S. Department of the Treasury administers and enforces economic and trade sanctions based on U.S. foreign policy and national security goals against targeted foreign countries and regimes. Terrorists, international narcotics traffickers, those engaged in activities related to the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction and other threats to the national security, foreign policy, or economy of the United States. That's who you're dealing with. The Nation of Islam did not get that money. I'm just trying to give y'all some context here. That money has not been gotten. Officials, this is the New York Times, officials to block Gaddafi gift to Farrakhan. Washington, D.C., in Washington, August 27th, this is 1996. Clinton administration officials said today they would almost certainly reject any application from the Nation of Islam and its leader, Louis Farrakhan, to be allowed to accept a donation of more than $1 billion from Colonel Muammar Gaddafi. Keep in mind, they hate Gaddafi and they hate Minister Farrakhan. Okay? We will fight for what we believe is our legal right, Minister Farrakhan told the news conference in Chicago. I will go across the nation and stir up not only my people, but all those who would benefit from it. So the bottom line is, the minister and the people, we fought for the $1 billion, but, the white man says no. Since you live under their control, and since they still have the minds of the people, which are y'all, since they still have the minds of the people, hold on, y'all, they kept y'all separate from the people. You got to realize that a group or organization cannot provide for you. The people who believe in that group, they strengthen the group, and then they provide for themselves and for their kind. That's how this thing works. It's a group, it's an organization, it's a collection of people. It's not something that, you get to do all by yourself, one dude. You got leadership. You don't have one. It's a ship, meaning it's a organized group of things. It's not something that somebody is doing all by themselves, and he has to direct everything and do everything. It wouldn't work like that. So, anyway, I think that's pretty much all I want to touch on. And like I said, we'll probably touch more on some of this here. I sent the email to the brother because I wanted to see. I was trying to find the old final call from that time, but I couldn't find it. So, that's pretty much going to be it. Super Mike out, y'all.